Hey, you're watching the Squad Goals podcast. If you want to listen to us, you can just go visit Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and iTunes. Links down in the description.
It's getting hot, hot, hot. Google. It's getting hot, hot, hot. So hot.
Hey.
It's getting hot, hot, hot.
What?
I only hear that song when I go to Busch Gardens.
Hey! Welcome to the Squad Goals podcast, episode 58.
Or 61. Because I messed up last week.
Hey, same thing. Tomato, 58, 61. It's the same thing. Now I wanted to bring something up. Justice has been served. Maybe a month or two ago, we talked about a catastrophe, an act against nature with our boy Pinky the Flamingo.
R.I.P. Pinky, not to be confused with Pinky from
Pinky
Friday.
or Pinky in the Brain.
Yes.
A
lot of famous Pinkies.
The man who killed Pinky has been killed.
Jeez, he's been slain?
He was walking down the street.
Was he choked? Was he strangled by a bigger man in front of his wife? And he's just like
a giant.
And then he slammed him, and then his wife was like, "What are you doing? You're a monster." And he's like, "I'm no monster. You monster."
No, he got hit by a car when he was walking. I was also in the same town on the same day. Coincidence? I don't know.
You did it, oh boy.
I just saw him and I just rage took over and I'm like,
"This for you, Pinky!
Justice for Pinky!
Pinky!" You put your pinky out.
He did.
Pinky!
He did the whole, like, he was, like, looking behind him and he started running. No, I also wanted to talk about something. It actually happened on my way to the office over here. You know how, I've said before, one of my biggest fears driving down the road when I see, like, debris.
Yeah.
And I always go, like, oh shit, that's a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I always say, like, that's a baby, that's a baby, that's a baby. And I was driving, I saw some shit, and I'm like, whatever, it's just shit. And I looked, and it was a baby kitten in the middle of the interstate. It looked so scared. I was heartbroken. I was like, it was in the middle, like, all scared, just in the middle of, like, 6 lanes of traffic.
Wow. Did you help it?
I wanted to, but there were so many cars behind me that there was no way for me to, like, stop. And then by the time I could get, like, to the side of the road, it was, like, so far away and so many cars passed. And I'm like, it was kind of rush hour-ish, so I couldn't, like, have a clear shot. But
Very safe.
it's the thing. I've said it so many times. When I see a piece of garbage, I go, that's a baby.
There was a baby that was found in a plastic bag. Not like yesterday.
Everyone says...
This morning. Yeah.
Everyone says
Still
I'm crazy.
Still alive. The baby's still alive. It's heartbreaking. They rescued the baby. The baby is now in a better place.
Everyone's
not dead. That sounds like the baby's dead. The baby girl is now in better care. There we go.
Everyone said I was crazy when I brought that up. It was a big fear. Who's crazy now? Who is crazy now?
The people who do that.
So I've been flying recently, and boy, are my arms tired. No, I had this thing though. I had to fly for a wedding. I had a couple weddings in the last week. Not to brag, but
always a bridesmaid.
I almost pulled a D'Angelo.
Are we verbing it?
Yeah. I almost missed my flight. I've never missed a flight before, and I came so close to missing my flight that I panicked. It was like, yeah, so basically I went to the airport. I got there early. I got there 2 hours before before my flight arrived. I was there 2 hours before. My dad and my stepmom were going on the same flight, but they were arriving at a different time. So I didn't see them before the flight. they like showed up. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna go eat at this restaurant, like in the airport." I'm like, "Oh, I already got food somewhere else." So we just didn't match up. I sit by the gate. I'm on my phone. Do. Then I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and I get a call from my dad. I'm like, oh, he's probably done with lunch or whatever. And he's like, where are you? And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm in the bathroom. He's like, why aren't you on the plane? I just wasn't paying attention. I was just minding my own business on my phone.
Were you on in the
No, but just like in general, I just wasn't paying attention because I'm like, oh, when I come out of the bathroom, I'll go sit here. Hopefully, I see them come up. Like because I was kind of like off to the corner.
2 hours on your phone?
Just like and walking around the airport and stuff because I went to the stores and stuff like that, and I was just like,
You just lost track of
I
time.
pulled up my pants and ran. I didn't even wash.
Did you wipe?
Barely.
Oh, man.
I had to wait until I got on the plane and we got up there for me to take care of business because it was just, I looked at my phone and I'm like, boarding's almost done. Like, it wasn't like they just started boarding the plane. It's like, last call.
They're about to close the gate. They're
Yeah.
about to close the door.
I almost missed the flight and I was there.
2 hours early.
Yeah. I just was like, lost track of time. I just kept on thinking,
You
like,
set an alarm, man. You gotta be ready for that.
I just kept on thinking, 2 hours is a long time. Like, that's going to take forever to kill. And it just went by so fast. I think I was watching something on Netflix on my phone.
That takes 30 minutes out of your life that you don't even notice. I go to TV shows and, like, stand-up comedies to take out hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you find a good enough show, The Office, you play The Office any season. Well, any season before they got rid of Steve.
Oh, so you're one of the, you don't like the later season guys?
No. It started to dip.
I agree. I'm on your side.
Yeah. But it did start to kind of dip with Steve Carell. And
it was like on the...
Yeah, and I think he sniffed it. I don't know. Wait, did they kick him or did he leave?
His contract was up. They wanted him to re-sign his contract, and he said no. There was no...
He sensed it. He was like, we had a good run, guys. We should kind of wrap this up. And they were like, no, let's
in all honesty, I feel like the episode where he left could have been like a perfect finale if they like tweaked some things because they knew they weren't going to end.
Yeah, because they were still like, oh, we're going to get Andy to come in.
Yeah. But the last episode of The Office, I have to say, an amazing episode. It was spoiler for The Office for those of you who
haven't seen it.
D'Angelo has not seen the last season. On the side note,
I mean, even though I didn't like the second,
you still watched it.
I still finished.
So the thing is, I don't disagree with him. I'm not knocking him at all because I did the same thing. I didn't watch the last season of The Office. I just kind of fell off of it when it was on TV, and then anytime I watched reruns, I just watched the best episodes and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I was with my ex, and she was a huge Office fan. She would literally binge it and then just start over. That's all she watched on repeat. And she was the one that said, hey, the later seasons after Steve Carell get bad, but they really step up their game with that last season. Like, they kind of knew it was the last season, so they said, let's go all out. And she was right. It was really good. And the last episode was basically, the documentary has come out. It's been on TV. And it's like a reunion, like... And it was just a really sentimental, it was a good episode. Like, where are they now that, like...
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
And I kind of liked it where, they were kind of celebrities because it was like...
Yeah, I just didn't like the whole, the camera crew was starting to have, like, feelings. Like,
yeah.
I've been following Pam for years and watching. I was like, why are we doing this?
I thought the same thing.
I was like,
Well, no. I was kind of like, why... I thought the same thing of, like, why are we introducing this now? I was like, it's really hot in here, guys, so we gotta wipe down. I was like, why are we introducing this now? But I really liked that idea.
I mean, but I don't know. It was also just Steve Carell.
So much so that...
It's just like, okay, now we're doing this.
Well, the thing is, like, The Office, if you look at it, it started out where it was like, this is a documentary. And then by like season 3 or 4, they really don't mess with that much.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
forget. You kind of just like
and then they go, oh yeah, no, we're like
it's still a documentary.
Yeah, there are camera people in this room with them, and you just like
the only time you really feel that is when they do the little side
interview. But other shows like Parks and Rec and Modern Family, they do the same thing with the side interviews, but they never hint that.
Yeah.
Oh, a documentary crew's following them around. It's just
isn't it? I don't think so.
They never reference it. I think it's just like that's just their style. Like that's the style now.
Just side interviews.
Yeah.
You gotta explain.
Because I like the idea of messing with the behind the scenes crew. There's something that has been like in the works with us that hints at that, and I have like added in a lot of the like what I'm talking about. Yeah. But like it involves like a documentary crew, but like they interact with the documentary crew constantly. Yeah. I like that, but season 9 of a show is kind of late to introduce it.
Hey, remember when we told you it was a documentary? Yeah. Here's the people.
But my favorite thing, I think,
we lost Steve Carell, so we got more money in the budget to hire camera guy number 1. He's gonna fall in love with Pam. We're gonna wrap this up.
My favorite thing with the finale though was like they were referencing the show because basically the show we watched has been released. Every episode we've seen is an episode in this like
documentary.
Yeah, and they all make jokes like, yeah, they made me look like a drunk, like Meredith. Like they made me look like a drunk all the time. Like I don't get it. And then Oscar, I just remember he was doing origami. He's like, no, followed me around and you never knew I did. I was a big origami fan, and I kind of like that where it's like, oh yeah, I guess like things probably would have been cut.
Yeah,
like,
they edited it out.
Yeah, but
you didn't see my whole life.
But my going back to my flight, the flight I almost missed.
Yeah, that was a nice office detour.
That was an office detour. It was horrible. I sat in the middle on the way there. I had my own seat. I wasn't with my dad and my stepmom. Basically, we were on the same flight. I didn't say hi to them until we arrived at our destination because I didn't cross paths with them. Wow. At the airport, we were texting and calling, but I wasn't with them. Then I get on the plane late, and they were sitting in the back of the plane. I was in the front of the plane, first class, as you do.
Ooh,
and
you first class? You a boss ass bitch.
That's what this podcast pays for.
Oh shit! I had to fly coming.
And I was like, hey, what's up, coach? You guys are in coach? I got my coach wallet.
Whoa.
The only thing coach about me is my wallet.
Ooh.
And my shoes. But I'm sitting in the middle seat, and what's the etiquette? Well, you've only been on a plane once, and we didn't talk about that, which I did want to talk about. But what would common sense be that the etiquette if you're in the middle, like if you're on an end seat?
If you're on the end seat, the left by the window, they get that window, they get to lean up.
Yes.
The aisle, you get the aisle plus your little right elbow, so you can lean this way. Middle gets right and left.
Yeah, you get the armrests.
Yeah.
They took both armrests.
That's just
so I had to like sit there like.
No, that's when you impose yourself.
And it
that's
was
when
just
you just sit there and just like, and then if they push your arm, you just.
Yeah, I was like.
Just get into like a little battle.
I was like botched in.
Were they
shit on my hands, shit in my drawers.
Were they big? You're like patient zero. You're carrying the E. Coli virus.
I'm like a surgeon, like keeping my hands out, not touching anything until we hit 10,000 feet so I can get up.
Fucking Ebola.
But it was horrible. It was horrible. I'm like, who does that? But then apparently my dad, we were going to try to get switched, but since I kind of got on there late, he asked me, like, oh, do you want to try to switch to sit next to me? And I was like, I'm just lucky I made it on the plane. Like, let's not get cocky. Well, they sat next to this, like, 16, 17-year-old, like, dweeby guy, apparently, and my dad needed to get up to go to the bathroom, and he was on the aisle, and he just went, the seatbelt sign is on, sir. And he wouldn't move.
You find out he's a air marshal.
He's the air marshal. He gets a hands on the ground.
Hands on the fucking. The seatbelt sign is still on, sir.
It was
You're like, fuck.
But yeah,
we're making these marshals small,
we didn't talk about your flight because when you were gone a couple weeks ago, you were in Vegas, and I didn't know that was your first flight ever.
Yes, and it made a lot of noise.
Yeah. What airline did you fly on?
Spirit there.
Okay, that's
Spirit there and Frontier.
Oh, you were.
I had the experience. Spirit Airline, I know why they call it Spirit because you feel your spirit come out of you.
Yeah.
I heard the AC. I don't know if it was the AC unit like pushing out cold air or if it was legitimate smoke, but I saw a lot coming from the top. And I was just like, is that normal? That's the AC. And I was like,
so like you go on vacations with your family often, like, but you guys just take cruises normally?
I've only been on like, make it sound like on vacation. I've been on like 2 cruises. Once to Mexico, once to Bahamas.
But I'm saying, like, when you go somewhere, you've never flown.
No, yeah, we usually like rent a SUV or something.
Okay, so you guys do the road trip.
Yeah, we road trip.
Okay, so every time, like, growing up, I would go to New Jersey to visit family.
See, I've got people that are like, flying distance.
We would always fly. And I've done the drive, and it's like, I hate road trips.
Road trips are nice if you have enough money and you're in a big enough vehicle.
I think if I had an RV, I would like it. But I can't sleep in cars comfortably. I don't think anyone can. I just hate it. I've done it enough. I could never go on a road trip again and be happy.
I could fall asleep in a nice SUV. It has to be good enough where I can like lean up. And if you got enough money, you can be like, let's get this little hotel right here, park it, car for the night, and then get back on the road. It's nice.
Like I've done
when you get them small cars and then you cramp everybody in, it's fun. I'd rather walk.
Well, I don't know if I've told you this story, but like me, D'Angelo, and our friend Carlos, we did a road trip from here to New Jersey.
That sounds. In what car?
My car.
That sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely. I knew y'all didn't rent anything.
Here, ready? Terrible. So we're in my car. We did this trip.
Did you drive?
I drove a little bit.
I did like switch.
Carlos drove a lot of it. I drove a little bit. D'Angelo didn't drive. Not out of choice. Like it just didn't really work out that way.
He was like, I got to sleep. I was like, I'm getting a little tired of this.
But we were going because basically I had my cousin's graduation party up in New Jersey, and I had a cousin's birthday party like a week later. And it worked out. I was gonna drive myself, just go by myself.
Yeah.
And then Carlos had his cousin's graduation party, or he had something going on. I think it was his cousin's graduation party in Pennsylvania, which is right next door.
Yeah.
Right? And then D'Angelo just kind of came for the ride. So we're driving. It's an 18-hour drive. We're in my car. We all have bags and stuff. And basically it worked out where we're like, oh, Carlos, hey, when we hit Virginia, if it works out, my cousin needs a ride to Pennsylvania.
No. And you did?
So we pick up his cousin. His cousin brings so much stuff. There's no room to sit in the back seat, like 2 people. His cousin was like 14, like he was young. And we're all cramped.
Oh, man.
He brought bags, like another thing of suitcases, because he was going up to Pennsylvania for the summer. So he had to pack for like 3 months.
No.
And
there was some other ride, that transportation I was supposed to come pick that kid up. And they were like, oh, wait, your cousin's coming? Yeah, make him get you.
Well,
they're like, yeah, we're not.
Phil, before we left, he had a BJ's membership. So we went to BJ's and he bought us so many snacks that it was just in a giant trash bag full of snacks. Little Debbie's, chips. So there's a giant trash bag of snacks taking up space. There was just no room to function. We were so cramped in that car.
Terrible.
Tons of suitcases and
your car's tiny.
And after that, it was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's like,
I wouldn't even want to drive it. I would freak out. I had PTSD.
I did that trip. Then, a couple years later, me and my dad had to move my grandparents from Florida back up to New Jersey, and we were in a broken truck. So it couldn't go over like 40 miles an hour.
Oh, that's like 20 hours.
Yes, it's an 18-hour drive. It took us over 24 hours, and we didn't stop overnight.
So you have to stay there.
We started yelling at each other. I don't think the radio worked, if I remember, and there was something with the cabin where it just shook, like I tried to read something on my phone, and I felt like I was gonna get sick because I couldn't hold it still. 24 hours.
That's fucking terrible.
And
I would have quit. But you are strong. I would have been like, Dad, well, we're sober. We're not doing this.
In between,
Grandma's not moving.
Yeah.
I hope she likes her home here.
I was like, wow. I honestly thought about just taking a flight somewhere.
I would have left. I would have drove. Did you drive it back?
No, we flew back.
Oh.
Because we just had to bring it up and then return it at a U-Haul place up there, whatever brand it was. And then me and D'Angelo, end of last year, we talked about on the podcast, we did a trip where we had to go to a wedding, and we left Florida. We had to film a short film for someone until 4 in the morning. Then, so we didn't sleep. We both had to wake up early to do something the next day. And then at 1 in the morning the next day, without any sleep, we had to drive from Florida to North Carolina to a wedding. Got to North Carolina, spent a total of 18 hours in North Carolina, and drove back. So 9 hours driving, 18 hours, 9 hours back on pretty much zero sleep.
That's a lot of Adderall.
All of those road trips ruined them all for me. I'm I hate them.
Those sound terrible. Those are terrible experiences. I'd rather walk.
Yeah.
Than be stuck in any of those.
It's I've done the trip to New Jersey a few times now.
That's probably where you fucked up.
Yeah.
Driving to Jersey.
Yeah.
I think the furthest I've driven was to Texas or Tennessee.
What was it? Me and my ex, we went to Nashville.
No,
that was probably.
I drove to North Carolina.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a quick one.
I think it was 9 hours.
So I'm just so spoiled now. Even if I wanted to go to Miami, which is a 4-hour ride, I'd be I'd rather fly. It's a 30-minute flight. I'd rather just fly there and back. Instead of
I just don't trust airplanes.
They're safe.
I've seen people who work on airplanes.
Okay, what about them?
They don't seem like they don't seem.
The
people who are throwing your luggage in there, and they're also
But that's your luggage. They're not the ones fixing the.
They're also putting the.
Those are different guys.
They were the same.
You got your luggage guys. You got your twisting things onto the plane
guys. Tube guys.
The only time there's.
What is that tube? Is that oil? Is that fuel?
I don't know.
What if they don't tighten it? What if I don't get enough fuel?
I've flown so much that it doesn't bother me, but 2 times I had issues. It was January or December of last year, around Christmas time. I flew back. I went to New Jersey for the holidays. I flew back, right? I'm listening to a podcast that I listen to that talks about better one. They talk about current events in the news and politics and all that stuff, and I was listening to that, and they were talking about the government shutdown. And we're on the runway, we're starting to take off, and they're talking about how all these air mechanics are going to airports on strike, saying no one has inspected the planes because we're not working, so these planes haven't been inspected. We don't know if they work. We don't know if
and people are still taking off. And
I'm on a plane taking off, and I'm oh no, I gotta. And I had a panic attack because they're talking about it just this one air mechanic, they're reading a story that was in the newspaper, and he's we're gonna hit the point if this shutdown goes on any longer that planes are just gonna start falling from the sky because there's so many mechanical issues that we didn't catch because we didn't have the chance. And I'm oh no.
Imagine all the TSA officers who were just go on.
Oh, and that's the other thing they were saying. They said there's not enough TSA agents because so many people were calling out sick that they can't check every bag. And they're so much stuff is going through, drugs, bombs, weapons, because they don't have the manpower to check everything. And that was they were saying that too, and I'm
yikes. Has anybody ever pulled like a Final Destination on a plane?
No, not that I know of. Like what? That predicts it?
No, not predicting.
Or just freaks out?
Just freaks out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then gets everybody else to freak out. But do people not freak out?
I've seen videos and it's usually people don't freak out. Some people are like, oh, that's weird, but like
I would get out. If somebody fell asleep, woke up, and said this plane is going down, something is gonna fail, it's gonna fall, I'm getting out.
I've flown enough that I'm like, I don't think anything would be up.
That's exactly
I think it would be
people who stayed on that plane in that movie thought.
I think it would be people like just have a panic attack.
Final Destination is fucked me up. I can't drive behind
trucks
lumber.
Yeah.
I can't. I'd never want to get laser eye surgery.
Oh yeah, that one.
I've never needed it, but I will never go to a tanning bed.
I binged all those movies in a day, like last month or in May. It was really recent because I just went. I've never seen them. I think I've seen the third one.
Yeah,
that was the only one I saw when they came out. Because when I was younger, I hated horror movies. I never wanted to see a scary movie.
Yeah.
So I missed a lot of like the old classic horror movies. So now I'm like trying to get caught up with some of them, and yeah, I watched them all. I watched them all like in a day or two. It was like
really fucked yourself.
Yeah.
Because it really just gives you unnecessary anxiety. Like
yes,
when I get behind a semi truck and I see like lumber, I'm like, that's gonna come through my head.
Yeah.
Whenever
it's just freak accidents like that. Like
a sign's gonna come through and chop my head off. What was another crazy one that happened? I was like, that's the dude who like slipped and fell and choked in the shower.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
It's like you're gonna die. I'm gonna go.
My favorite part was seeing, like, because they always show like close-ups of different things, like the toast the oven left on, the TV's on the ledge, and it's like you're just like, how is this gonna?
Yeah. Like,
you're trying to guess it because you're like, okay, I know it's coming. Like, what is it gonna? And you're like, ah.
And then it hits you. Like, that's so
I started watching all the Saw movies too. I haven't finished it. Oh, yeah. I watched Saw. I watched Saw 1, 2, and 3.
I think that's it. No, 4.
I think I started watching 4 and I was like, okay, it lost. And apparently it was made to be a trilogy, and then they were so successful they kept on going.
Yeah, I'd say 3. I would stop 4 maybe.
And then like I hear they get worse and they're really dumb. But I watched the 3 Saws. I think it was like last month.
Yeah, because then they start going off of like now there's a new Jigsaw.
Yeah,
and then they try to bring Jigsaw back.
And then it's like the whole everything's in a different time, and I'm like, we made this way too complicated for a Saw. Yeah,
we're not Fast and Furious.
This isn't as sophisticated plot as the Fast and the Furious franchise. Yeah. I did want to bring up this weird thing. I found a trend of like I got a thing in my on my door, an advertisement, and it's this weird thing. Once I saw it, I kept on noticing it, and it was an advertisement for a moving company, and it's Team Jesus Moving Company will take the burden off of your back, and the logo is a man hauling a cross on his back into a moving truck.
That's probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
I'll include a close-up picture.
That is probably the worst logo design.
A man with bearing the cross onto a moving truck.
You know that old lamp that you have in storage? That's the equivalent of the cross that
Jesus carries. But then
it's on the same level as that of that.
When I was in New Jersey, I was on the boardwalk, and then I saw a T-shirt. I wanted to buy it, and I should have bought it, and it just said, "Jesus is my lifeguard. He walks on water."
Oh no!
And that, like, between those two, I don't know if I got a picture of it. Hopefully I took a picture of it.
Jesus is calling.
If I took a picture of the Jesus is my lifeguard shirt, I will include that as well. But it was just like, why does this shirt exist?
Because,
I did not take a picture. I did not take a picture.
You feel like you're drowning. And Jesus is there to Save
I was just like,
can I get an amen?
amen.
Can I get a
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the?
So I went to New York. When I went to New York, I met up with some of our friends, Juan from the podcast, his lovely wife. They happened to be there at the same time, coincidentally, and then I was like, oh, like
why are we hanging out?
Yeah, it kind of was like, I wasn't close to them, but it worked out where like one of my relatives, my sister, was going home, and she was close to a train station. Like it just worked out. Like, oh, if we're gonna hang out, we're gonna hang out now.
We're gonna hang out right now.
So we went to Times Square. I was showing them around. They'd never been in New York, and I was showing them like some of the touristy stuff because they had a whole week to be there. And I was like, let me just show you some of the basic stuff, and then you can get the more hole in the wall, like the cooler stuff.
To show them the hole in the wall, and then they do the.
They were really tired. Like they flew. They were pretty much up for 24 hours by the time they arrived. So I was like, we'll just go do Times Squares. Yeah, that's how we do it. But I was like, let me just show you the touristy stuff real quick. Yeah. Like nothing like that. You can say you saw it. You don't really need that much energy. But there was a store. It was an American Eagle store on Times Square.
Oh, good old AE.
And it had the craziest thing. And I just went, why don't other places have this? And it was a locker system, like at work with the banks.
Like a Domino's?
What do you mean a Domino's?
No, Little Caesars. Little Caesars has a locker for pizzas. Continue your story though.
No, I was gonna say like how at work with the banks, it's like that same thing, but in each little compartment has cords for every type of phone charger, and basically you put in your phone charger, you say I want this locker, and you put in like a personal code, and you can just keep your phone charging and go like shop and do things.
Oh, that's great.
And it was free.
Yeah, someone's gonna rob you. Don't do that ever again. There's a scammer out there who just took all your information. You thought it was just charging.
Yeah, I mean that is true. No, but it was like if it was on the street, I would never. But the fact that it was in the store, I'm like, okay, that has to be somewhat. And
corporate government scam.
It could be. It could. No, they're already on my phone. But
I got the American Eagle.
I just went, why don't theme parks have that? Why, like, I should be seeing those every place I go to.
I feel like it's just more of a liability for big places because then somebody gets into the locker, they go and find a way to get into the locker, not somebody's phone.
But I feel like it was super secure. There wasn't even like a key thing on it. It was like you had to put in your email address, your phone number, and it showed you like 16 pictures.
Why are you putting your phone number? You can't answer your phone.
Because you had to unlock it, you had to go, what's your email, what's your phone number, and then there's 16 pictures, and it's like, what picture did you pick? So it wasn't like a 4-digit combo that you could guess. It was like you needed to know a lot of stuff. I gave that machine a lot of my personal information.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you did.
Social, bank account numbers, and I got to charge my phone for free.
Yeah. Okay. I take it as a win.
But I was just
give some to get some.
I was just like, why aren't there more? Because I feel like that's the most common problem in 2019 is you're out somewhere, like and your phone dies or it's really low, and you're not going to be home to charge it or in your car.
I just let mine die.
I mean, I do too, but there's sometimes I feel like it comes in handy. Like, let's say we're at Universal.
Yeah. Phone's
dying, and it's like it's very easy to get separated, and it's like, well, now how are we gonna find like
the old-fashioned one?
Just
AJ.
Or what if I was like, I wanted to take some nice pictures or videos, but my phone died? I'm not gonna carry my disposable like.
Why not? Bring it back. Let's bring that old school.
The disposable cameras back.
Yeah. Just throw them away after you're done. Don't even develop the film. Just have fun. Take pictures. How many? You got like 100 clicks?
No, you get like 10.
No, not with the yellow one. The yellow one had hella clicks on it.
No.
Yes.
No. You maybe got 30 or 40 max.
No.
How many pictures do you get on a disposable camera?
The good one. What's the yellow one?
Here's a summary from Walmart. It features 27 exposures to help you capture
That's
a
a
variety
Fuji
of
film.
photos.
Yeah, what's the
The
Fuji?
Fujifilm disposable camera comes complete with Superior XTRA 400 film.
400.
No, that's just the film. 27 pictures.
Oh. Yeah, 27.
Yeah.
What if you get 4 of them?
Just wear them around your belt. Like, what? That is...
4 or 5.
That's one of those things that, like, our children, for the most part, because, like, I remember going to get film to, like, develop, but, like, that's gonna sound crazy.
Crazy.
Like, when you have to tell our
like,
kids.
So you let other people look at your pictures and print them out for you, and then you let that happen?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And not only, I take a picture, I don't know what it looks like, and I have to wait a minimum of an hour if I want to pay more money an hour, if not like a day, to get to see those photos. Like, I could take a picture at, like, my kid's graduation party, and it's like, well, I'll see that in, like, 3 weeks.
See that in a week?
Yeah, like...
what time is Kiko's open?
And I mean...
Good old,
to an extent, what a dream. Like, I kind of wish you know how many times I have to take pictures, like, of girls, and
they want to see it right then?
And it's like, no, I was looking slightly...
Can you just get this side? Wait.
My head was pointed 47 degrees to the left, I wanted it 48.
Is that an Android? Oh my god, this camera's gonna
Can you do 3 vertical, 2 horizontal, and 1 portrait?
Wait, I was blinking.
It's like...
Wait, stop. I thought I blinked. Can we do it
And it's
again?
like...
You didn't blink, but I thought I blinked. And that's the same thing.
Like, I feel like I could fill up a disposable camera taking one group picture of, like, 3 girls. That's it! We gotta get a new camera.
What did they look like? Oh, we'll see in a week.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got you, though.
Well...
Pretty sure you're in the picture. And if you don't like it, this moment's over. So, you're stuck with it.
Did you...
You're gonna learn to like it.
Ever see the movie 1 Hour Photo?
No.
Okay. Because you were talking about something, and I recommend watching this movie. It's very creepy. It's weird. It's creepy. It stars Robin Williams. But you can barely tell it's Robin Williams. Like, he was acting. Like... Yeah. But it's about this old man, Robin Williams. He's an old man who works at the 1 Hour Photo thing, and he becomes obsessed with this family that always drops off their pictures. And it's like him, like, putting up their pictures, like, on his, like, walls at home, and, like, he imagines himself being part of their family because they're always really nice to him instead of just treating him like a piece of garbage. Like, they're like, oh, hey, how's your day going?
That's why you can't be nice to people. They get obsessed and they try to kill you.
I watched, because when Robin Williams died, I binged a lot of his movies that I never saw, right? And that was one of them, and I was just like, this is so creepy. And, like, at the time, when it came out, I would never give my photos to anyone.
Yeah,
like,
it probably was, like, really chilling for that.
And now, it's like, wow. Yeah, that's not a problem I gotta deal with.
Science fiction now. Like, what is this?
Like, it would have, and it's
what time dimension are we in?
It was such a horror movie of the time, and it wasn't even that old. It was like the early 2000s, but it was like, I recommend it. It was really creepy. It was just like this creepy, like, because it could be anyone does, and especially nowadays, I feel like you could make that movie again, but have it a guy who's obsessed with someone's Instagram feed or Facebook feed, and it would be. I'm sure it has, like, but it's.
Oh gosh, sometimes. Don't be nice to people. I'm just gonna be nice.
I don't know. And then the other movie I watched during that Robin Williams binge is World's Greatest Dad. I feel like I've talked about it on the podcast before, where his son kills himself, or accidentally kills himself while he was jacking off with a belt around his neck.
Yeah. How do you accidentally do it?
Because you can't get it off. Like, yeah, it's too tight and you can't unhook it.
That's why y'all gotta keep some scissors next to your rookie.
I guess that would work.
Oh, whoa, that was a close one.
Yeah.
Let me get a towel.
That's another good movie. I recommend it. It's weird because it's such a weird premise, but it's like, the movie is about a thing I've always said is, the moment someone dies, we treat them like a saint.
Yeah.
And we always hate that person, like it could be someone we make fun of. There's jokes. Like Michael Jackson. I always use this example. Michael Jackson died thinking he was a joke. That's all people did. It was Michael Jackson jokes. Michael Jackson jokes. And people respected him as an artist, but it was like, oh, I'm going to hang a baby over the balcony. Oh, like, let's go to Neverland. Like, it was just like jokes. He died. Never hear a joke again. And it was just like, he was the greatest musician of all time. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but like, we forgot, we treat him as a joke before he was like dead. Now we act like we were always cool with him and we never had an issue.
I mean, I was cool. He took me to the ranch. You know, we had fun. We had a couple parties. But the movies about his son was like kind of an asshole, and like he was kind of picked on, but he also like he was just a kid like that didn't get along with people. Like he got picked on, but he picked on other people. He just wasn't like a cool kid. But the moment he died, like the kids who picked on him, like, oh, we were so close. Like we always like talk, like, and you just because it's about the dad was a writer. He was a failed writer, and he wrote a suicide note because he walked in on his kid with the belt and porn, and he was jacking off to the girl Robin Williams was dating on a date with, like, he took a picture, and he was like, on top of it, it was just like the worst thing you could walk in on your kid dead to that. He died because of the girl you're with.
Yeah, and he made it look like a suicide, like he hung himself, and he wrote a suicide note, and it was like such a well-written suicide note. It was like that Robin Williams is going on like talk shows, like, oh, he affected so many people, like that, because it became published, and it was like the dad's taking the fame of like being a writer, and he's just like, yeah, you know, like, and I think if I remember, he started writing a fake diary.
Oh, he never comes clean again?
I don't remember. But he's like writes a diary like as his son because he's getting all this fame because he never got famous writing his own stuff.
Wow.
And it was just the whole movie's about like
totally messed up.
When someone's dead, we put them on a pedestal and we don't remember how we acted around them when they were alive. Like if I write a book, you're not gonna give a shit. But if I write a book then die, then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, he was the greatest author that ever. We took him. The Lord took him too soon. This and that, and it just wasn't a good mix.
Yeah, that happens a lot with artists.
But that being said, on a somber note, we're wrapping up a little bit early today.
Hey, if we die with this podcast,
I think that's the only way this podcast is going to take off. So we have I was going to make a dark joke.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to make a dark joke. Hey, that was our episode. If you feel like you have suicidal thoughts, please seek help.
Oh my God, no, don't end our show like that.
That was our episode of the Squaggles Podcast, episode 68. 68? No, wait. 58. 58.
58. This was great, but it's getting late.
I'm AJ. This is Devonne. We're out.
Devonne.
See ya! Bye.